if you ever do anything I tell you to do this. Go vote.
I created Species Nutrition with one mission in mind: to provide bodybuilders and serious athletes with no-nonsense supplements that work. I put my name and reputation on every bottle of Species Nutrition products. If you want to be your absolute best, join the evolution.
Look! It just came out! Look at that!
I love it! And we're back live for our special Election Day 2024 episode of After Hours with the Whack Pack. What's up, guys? We have Larry and I see Amin has joined us as well.
There's Amin.
And I actually just got back from Qatar, or as they call it, Qatar, they say.
What were you doing there?
I was meeting with my business partner.
It's kind of a long way to go to meet a business partner.
It was 15 hours each way, John.
Long flight.
That's a long ass flight, man. How do you deal? I can't deal with those flights, man. Other than going across country,
you flew first class. You had to fly first class, right, Dave?
I did not fly first class. No, I didn't.
You flew coach 15 hours?
I was like economy plus. I mean, it wasn't like I wasn't suffering. First of all, let me explain to you. Qatar Air is like Emirates. It's a beautiful plane. The food is great. I had the extra leg room, and most people sleep the whole flight. I Xanaxed myself to death, basically, into a coma. No, I took a milligram of Xanax and I every 7 hours, and I slept like the whole time. So.
See, I can't do that because first of all, I got to get an aisle seat because I get up and
I had one.
Okay,
me too.
So then, but if you're in the aisle seat, you're going to be the person that's got to move when the next person in the row has got to sit next to you. And if you're lucky like me, you always sit next to other people that you really don't want to sit next to.
Well, see, the trick, John, is you got to sit in the middle row because in those big planes, they have the aisles, and then in the middle row. In the middle row, there's someone in the middle, but he can go either to the left, your way, or you can go the other way. I just make it so that there's no chance I'm getting up at all. I feign like a coma, basically.
I'm sorry, guys. I want to know your opinions too. To me, there is nothing more absolutely the worst thing I would ever consider wanting to do is in that row. There's 5 seats, right? There's
three in the middle. At least the one I was.
Sorry, 3 in the middle. Okay, you're in the middle of the plane in the middle seat for 15 hours.
It's terrible. I'd hate to be there. Yeah, I'd hate to be there. But you know what? This guy who sat next to me, I don't think he got up he might have got up one time and he went the other way. I don't even know how he did. He slept the whole time. He must have also been like on drugs or something like that to knock him out.
I don't know. I remember interviewing Wayne D'Amelia one time, and we went like 6 hours in the office at MD. He didn't go pee once, not one time.
Some people do. Yeah, I don't know how they do it. I'll tell you one thing. When I'm on Xanax, I don't have to pee as much. I don't know if it relaxes my bladder or something like that, but I probably only got up about 2 times the whole 15 hours.
Wow.
And that, for me, that's a record, John, because I usually get up a lot. But I also don't drink a lot when I'm on the plane. I try not to drink.
But then you get there and you get up and you've been sitting for 15 hours and you get cramps and you're
dehydrated when
your hamstrings.
Yeah, you're true. That's true.
Right.
But yeah, it was The flight was not that bad, and it's interesting because I was in so I really didn't have a lot of time there. I was only there for really a day, and I didn't even have the whole day to myself because I had meetings. But I went to the market. They call it the Souk Waqif. That's like the main market. It's like 250 years old, this thing, and you can bargain there. It's like Mexico. It's better because Middle Eastern people. I don't know. You guys, some of you guys are Middle Eastern. They love to bargain. If you don't bargain, it's almost like you didn't do your diligence. And this guy pulled me into his place. I was walking past. I wasn't even ready. I already had bought something, and he pulled me in, and I wound up bargaining to death with him. And I only bought the stuff because I got such a good deal on it. And he said, "You look familiar to me." And I showed him a picture of what I used to look like when I competed. And he went crazy. He's like, I watch RX Muscle.
No way.
I said, all the places. I'm in Qatar in the Souk Waqif marketplace. It's like a flea market, basically.
Yeah.
And this guy recognizes me. It was so funny. He's like, I know John Romano and Valentino. He's funny.
What did you buy? What kind of store was it?
I bought it's all souvenir stuff. I bought for my kids, stuff. But
I think you're buying Rolexes or something.
What you guys are watch that?
You could do that. I mean, you can. Gold. In the Middle East, 24 karat gold is what they sell. They don't sell 18 and the 16 karat bullshit. It's the brightest gold you've ever seen, and it's pretty cheap. If you want to buy gold, that's where you go.
What are you doing out there, Dave? What were you there for?
I was getting a sex change, Greg.
I could see it.
And how long were you out there?
Looking beautiful.
What was the duration of your trip?
He came back.
I want to be able to vote as a female today, not as a male, Greg. So,
shall we call you Davina?
Yeah, Davina. Yeah.
I know it now. I like you even more.
Oh my God, that seems incestual.
Yeah. I was busy. My business partner out there. He flew me out there. So.
Oh, you were doing business. Oh, good.
Yeah.
They had a seminar up there, didn't they? Like a big seminar.
No, it's funny. On the way back, these bodybuilders came up to me and they were on my plane. They're like, "Oh, are you coming back from Kazakhstan?" I'm like, "Kazakhstan? What are you talking about?" I guess there was a show in Kazakhstan, and the connections in Qatar. So these guys had gone,
classic vision.
Yes. So one of the guys was from Miami, so he flew. He had to fly to Qatar first, and then from Qatar to the Kazakhstan. I caught him on the way back. Luckily, I had a direct flight from Miami. I drove to Miami. I said, I'm not making any stops on this trip.
That's funny because Kevin Lerone was texting me, and he's out there. He was all through out there. He was like, I was just in Iraq. I was here. And he was sending me some really nice pictures of some of the places he was at and everything.
Qatar is the best kept secret. You think Dubai is nice? Dubai is like Disneyland. Qatar is like sophisticated beauty. There's not a scrap of paper on the street. You cannot find litter anywhere. There's zero crime there. It's clean. The food is absolutely insane how good the food is there.
Tell everybody how the whole place just like shuts down when it's time to pray, and cars are like left on the street, and people walk to the closest mosque and pray. It's insane.
I have a funny story about the praying that I felt like Larry David in this situation. You ever watch Curb Your Enthusiasm? Larry always makes these like fumbles. So I'm in the airport on the way home, and I have to go to the bathroom so bad, and it's close to when my flight is boarding. So when I go through the security checkpoint, and I have a pacemaker, so I have to show them a card, and I don't because I can't go through the metal detector because it'll set the thing off. So I go through. They don't even search me. I'm like, I can't believe they didn't even search me. They just looked at the card and I walked right through. So I'm looking for a bathroom. So I see men. Everything's in Arabic and English because everyone speaks English there. So I see men. So I go into the thing and I walk in and everyone's praying. I said, "Uh-oh, wrong room."
Prayer room. Yeah.
Prayer room. So I go to the next door. There's another thing that says men. I said, "This must be the bathroom." And it's it's where all the bathrooms. It's like I walk in and guys are sitting. It looks like a fountain that they're sitting in. And they're sitting on these little chairs, and they have clothes on, and they're washing themselves with this like faucet thing that's coming out.
Washing their feet.
What
I
were
don't
you?
know. Wash their hands and their feet, right?
Yeah.
And I don't
Were
know
you
what's going
wearing
on.
a burqa? Were you wearing your burqa?
Greg, I thought you had to pee in that fountain. I'm like,
God.
Oh, shit.
I
With
said,
your
where's
feet.
the toilet bowl? Where's the toilets in here? He's like, you're the other thing. So I guess I think what they were doing is they wash their feet right before they pray. Is that what it is?
Yes, they wash
Yeah.
the hands, head, the feet, the arm,
Yes.
forearms.
But they had their clothes on. How did they?
They
The clothes.
lift up those, those things. They're like white things that go down.
Yeah.
They just lift them up and they just wash the feet. Most
But
of
then
them are
aren't they all
single.
wet?
It's mostly symbolic. They're not spring clean.
Right? No, it's symbolic. Yeah.
John, this guy was soaking wet. I don't know how he was going to get back in his clothes afterwards.
I saw the same thing in Egypt. That really amazed me. We don't see that here in America. That level of devotion. Where
I love it.
mean, this is three times a day. This is 3 times a day they got to stop.
I'm sure you guys both know that's why Chris Aceto loves Qatar so much.
Well, listen. Here's the problem. If I would have walked in there and no one would have been in there cleaning, I might have peed. I might have peed in that thing because I thought it looked like a trough. You ever go to these fancy restaurants where you pee in jail?
Could you imagine 3 really devout guys walking in and you're peeing and
so.
And then the worst part is, I don't know. I'm foolish. Oh my God.
At this point, I'm like, there's got to be a bathroom someplace, right?
They start washing their feet with your piss and shit. Oh, holy
yeah. So I find this bath. They have the companion bathrooms, like where you could. It's like a single bathroom. It's for handicapped people or people with kids.
Yeah.
Yes.
I said, I'll just go in there. I can't go wrong with that, right? So I'm checking the doors. They're locked, and they have a little red thing if they're locked, and it's green if they're open. So I'm checking them which one, and there's 3 of them in a row, and one of them's open. So I open the door. There's a woman naked in there, going to the bathroom. Now I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna get arrested now. I said, you should have locked the door. I said it wasn't. I'm sorry.
Did you not have a person that tells you hey, do this, to kind of show you around?
I had a driver there, but
I'm
in the airport. I'm in the airport.
Airport. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just trying to take a leak before I get on the plane. So finally, I find the men's bathroom, and there's a line out the door, and I'm like, "What is it? What's with the? How many?" I said, "There must not be any bathrooms in this place. That's why there's such a big line." So I said, "Listen, I'm a chat cutter. You know what a chat cutter is?"
Yeah, you talk a little bit to someone in line and then you slide in.
Yeah, because I can't wait in long lines. I just can't do it. It's my one thing. I don't have patience.
It's a New York thing.
Yeah. So I got maybe someone I know in there. So I walk all the way into the bathroom past all the people that were giving me dirty looks, and I realize that they're online, but there's 10 urinals that are open, and no one's there. It's like they're waiting for the stall.
Muslim people don't urinate in urinals standing up. They're not allowed to have any of the urine drops on their clothes.
Oh, is that the reason? I didn't know that.
It's part of the religion. Yeah, it's part of Islam.
So I peed and I went out of there. Thank God. But,
you're lucky.
You know what I always wondered growing up? I grew up around Orthodox in Chabad, and they have so many rituals and so many customs that they have to do every single day. Mm-hmm. And I always wondered how were they so successful when they have to pray 5-6 times a day and do all these things and can't work on a Saturday and so many things, but they're all super successful in spite of it all.
Well,
because the breaks are important.
One of the reasons for that,
people here are gaming all day and shit like that. So people are wasting their time here gaming and doing things for themselves all day. But, so
one of the reasons for their
I figured out is they're just super strict, with everything in their life. They're, they don't mess around with anything.
Well,
so even though they're doing all those things, that to them is like normal.
Yeah.
They also stick together. They're a very loyal tribe. It's like they all support each other. If one of them is a dentist, they all go to him for the dentist.
Well, isn't that the same thing with the Jewish community?
Jewish too.
Absolutely.
Well, they're really the same people.
And you know what? And Greg would know this. The gay community too is like that.
How would I know? Wait, listen. Is it true that you can't get tattoos over there, right? Aren't they against tattoos or no?
Yeah.
I didn't see any tattoo parlors.
You'll never see
ISIS. You're not going to see anything.
You never see them with tattoos ever.
No. They don't get tattoos, and they don't get. There's no alcohol there, really. No, you can't.
There's alcohol at the hotels, but there's for the Americans.
You can't have it though. It's only for the tourists.
Right.
And
It's an incredible culture shock
against the religion.
Yeah,
it's great. Wow. There's no crime there. I wonder if that has anything to do with it.
Did you
the punishments are hard too for even minor stuff. So I mean, minor
chop your hands off for
Dave at the airport. They have the Doha version of Monopoly. It's the Qatar version of Monopoly.
Oh, really?
I got one when I was out there. Yeah, it's so cool. It has all the famous sites. It's like Monopoly, but in the Qatar version. It's really cool.
I'll tell you something. Qatar is so beautiful of a country, and like I said, the prices are good. If you want to shop there, it's great because you can bargain with everything. And I think that a lot of people are going to start going there. They have direct flights there from New York, Miami. I mean, it's pretty convenient. I mean, if you don't, I don't mind sitting on a long flight. And I've been to Dubai now, and I've been to Qatar, and I actually like Qatar better. I felt it was more personable. Dubai is like so overwhelming, like, a little bit. And it's like Vegas versus like New York City type of thing,
Did you get to see the Pearl, the future city?
No, you know what? The one thing I regret, like I said, is I was only there. You lose a day on the way there. So I flew there Friday. I got there Saturday night. So I didn't get to see very much. Sunday is the only day I had.
They have one of the world's future cities. They have one of the world's future cities where it's a smart city where you don't even need a phone. You can just say, I need an Uber, and an Uber will show up. It's insane.
Wow.
So you were there for 2 days?
Yeah, basically. And it was less than 2 days, really. It was only.
Well, so you flew 30 hours to spend 48 hours there?
He's dedicated.
Yeah.
What about the language?
Didn't that?
Everyone speaks English there. Everyone speaks English.
Wow. To me, that's a soldier move right there, man.
Well, it was a business trip, John. I try to make it a little bit, interesting for myself. I'll tell you something. The hotel itself that they put me at was unbelievable, and it had an Olympic-sized pool in the hotel, and they had a gym that was nicer than the Crunch gym I go to. They had all Life Fitness in there, and they fed you 3 meals a day. They had these buffets, and these buffets had every single country of food. Like each section, they had the Indian section for Indian food, authentic, Greek, Italian, Middle Eastern. And on Friday and Saturday nights, they have sushi night where they have the most insane sushi you've ever seen on this thing. I didn't want to leave. I just live in this hotel. I said, I'll be so happy if I can just live here,
The big question is
the downside to it is though, like Sergio Oliva was living in Dubai and he's like, oh, this is awesome. Right. And then he had that incident and then they just threw him in jail for a week, So the downside to it is you do anything that, even if you don't know you're breaking the law, you're in some serious shit. And then it's not the same laws. So that's what's really scary,
What did he do? Well, how come he got thrown in jail?
He had an accident.
Someone ran into him.
Yeah, someone ran into him, and then he ran into a person, and it killed like a delivery person or something like that. And so they let him go, and then they came to I think his apartment like a few days later, and just said, "Hey, come with us." He thought he was just going to get questioned, and they put him in jail. They just put him in jail for a week, and there's not like a bond.
He really wasn't in jail. He was in holding for a couple of days because they had to make sure he had insurance and stuff like that. But
he said there was just a hole in the middle that had everybody had to piss and shit, and he said it was terrible. And
it's nice when you know people in the country that way, you can get yourself out of that type of stuff. So that's
that wouldn't happen to you in Qatar.
Look, the United States is the best country to live in. I can appreciate these other places, and stuff like that. But that's why it's important that you go out and vote today. I'm not telling you who to vote for, but who to vote.
I'm telling you who to vote for. Vote for Trump.
Damn right.
That's right.
Vote as often as you can.
God damn right.
Vote as often as you can.
That's right.
And if you're a felon, vote in California.
I'm going to tell you something that I don't even talk about usually. This is going to be the first year I've ever voted. I'm 56 years old. I have never voted in a single election.
You're allowed to vote, Dave?
What?
You're allowed to vote? You don't have any criminal things that make you say.
Well, no, you can vote. If you're a felon, you can vote. It doesn't take you. You can.
Yeah,
vote.
you had to have
if you're on
completed.
Probation, I don't think you can vote. I don't think you can.
Right,
vote,
you have to get off probation. So, like, I can vote because I'm off probation. So if you
so I've never voted, but I'm so worried about this election being stolen that I decided my vote. We got to win by a landslide. So I'm going.
Why
to
have
vote.
you never voted?
Guys on here making.
Because I didn't think it made a difference, to be honest with you.
That's wrong.
I never thought it made a difference.
I'm glad you've seen the light.
I did.
Dave, how are the girls out there? Any cuties?
Yeah, they're all covered up, Greg. You couldn't tell.
Yeah, you wouldn't know.
You just go. You got to go if you like eyes.
They do a really good job with their makeup. You got to.
I've got to tell you though,
I can't see the hair, but the makeup's really pretty.
Not for nothing, but when I was in Egypt, there was that's so true. It's like all you see is this, and you can't help but look at just that, man.
Right.
You can see so much of what's going on with somebody when you just look at their eyes. I mean, it was just really amazing.
How do they even know each other? Which ones they're attracted to or not? If you can't even see them.
Usually it's family introductions, dude. You don't.
Yeah, it's all set up.
It's all arranged.
You don't go meet somebody. It's like you're at a party and like, hey, this is my friend of this friend, and you're
your family chooses your mate. You have no idea what they look like.
You go on Instagram.
You're not even allowed to see them naked.
Not that, John.
You're not even allowed to see them naked. You can't. There's all kinds of weird rules.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
It depends, Saudi Arabia is a lot stricter, Iraq stricter than the
It's funny because they have no divorce. They have very low divorce rates too, and maybe they should be arranging all marriages. They might work out better.
You're just not allowed. You're not allowed to get divorced.
You're not allowed to get divorced, really.
Yeah.
There is
something to be said for that because they don't.
You can also have up to 5 wives too. If you can afford to take care
Who
of
the fuck wants one? You can't deal with one woman. Imagine
every guy I've ever talked to there said, "Why would you want more than one wife?" They all say that to me. Why would you want more than one?
What do they say? What's their answer?
No, they say to me, "Why would you want more than one?" They have a girlfriend and a wife. They don't want it. They don't want a wife.
Yeah. Well, over there, I guess it's not cheating if you're married to all of them. So I think.
Is that how it works?
Depending on what your wealth status is, you could afford to keep them all in the same home. It's what Tony Hughes' dream is, except he's not married to them. But every Muslim rich man can have like 5 wives.
Yeah, you have to be wealthy. Yeah, Rami has 2 wives, right?
To be able to treat them equally.
How many wives does Rami have?
Big Rami has 2 wives, right?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
He got married again. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he's got 2 wives.
The first one didn't even know about it. He did it behind the first one's back because legally he doesn't even have to tell her. He doesn't even have to tell the first wife that he gets married to the second one or third one.
I met this guy on the plane. We were boarding the plane from Miami to going to Qatar, and he's like, "Oh, you're into bodybuilding, I see." I said, "Yeah." I have to say, he goes, "You know Big Ramy?" I said, "Of course I do." I said, he's one of the, and he's asking me all these questions about Ramy. I said, "How do you know Ramy?" He goes, "I am Egyptian." I said, everyone knows Ramy in Egypt.
Yeah, he's a rock star.
Yeah, like everybody knows Hadi in Iran.
Yeah.
This guy wasn't even like a bodybuilder. He just knew Ramy because Ramy is like, it's like Robert Redford or like, Brad Pitt or something
also,
like that.
Bodybuilding is huge in the Middle East. I mean, it's like soccer is and football, it's like it's up there with those. So people really do know their countrymen's bodybuilders.
Yeah, I was told that in that big gym that's over there the
Oxygen.
Yeah, I was told that they have bleachers where people just sit around and watch you fucking train like that. Is that true?
No, I don't see. I've never seen.
What's the name of that gym? That famous gym that.
It's Oxygen.
Here at every gym.
What's that?
It's Oxygen.
They do that here at
Oxygen,
every gym.
Yeah.
Big Hamza wants to educate us. Romano, stop spreading lies. I am Muslim.
Back up,
I see
dude.
my
I
wife
wasn't
naked
talking
every night. You
I
can
was
have up
not
to 4 wives, and you can get divorced. You guys need to educate yourselves. My goodness.
I wasn't talking about Muslims, so take a chill pill, Big Ham. I specifically did not name a religion.
Of course, when you're married, you can see them. It's like in Iran and stuff. Like they have like sexy shops, like for all the women to go shop at, but it's to wear for their husbands, like behind closed doors.
Hey, Greg, you're gonna like this one, Greg. The vagina has to stay a virgin. but that means the back door is open. So,
ooh, I like that.
Now you're going to get a message. Wait, you're
now you're going to really get us in trouble. Yeah.
What was that dude's name?
Everybody knows it.
Writing to you now. How?
So they're allowed to have anal sex, but
no,
they can't
they're not
have.
Allowed to, but
they do.
Only with boys.
They do. Well, they also consider not clean either, though. Anal, the girls. So I've
that's true.
A couple
how do they get around?
I'll clean it like this.
I dated this one Arab girl, and we talked about it. And she's like, "That's so." I mean, she was so appalled that I would even think of something like that. She was like, "You're so disgusting. Why would you even think?" I'm like, chill out. Like, she's like, "That is so gross. Why would someone ever even want to do that?" I'm like, most guys, are into that, or and she's like that, so she was so offended. But
to me,
obviously it didn't work out.
To me, that's the answer to abortion. That's the answer to abortion in the country. You don't want abortion? Take it, down the house.
Well, they do. Hey, y'all heard that term? You heard that term?
That's for sure.
Yeah,
it's the best way.
There's tribes that practice that actually in Africa.
But Greg, no spam in the can because they don't eat pork.
I'll give him the beef ham in a can. But
so this is slowly deteriorating into Archie Bunker territory. I think we need to change the subject. We're going to get a lot of hate mail.
There's no age over there too, right? Aren't guys getting married? Like, look at my 9-year-old bride. He's fucking 80 and shit.
You're going to get a message.
Yeah,
You've heard about like Muslims, or not like Muslims. You've heard about like Mormons and the soaking. You know what soaking is?
No, what is it?
Okay, so no, they don't believe in like sex before marriage. So what they do is it makes no sense because it's already in there. So they put their penis in the girl and they just sit there. It's called soaking. It's legit. Like they do it. It's real big at BYU.
Okay.
It's called.
You don't move back and forth at all.
No, you don't move back and forth. You just put it in.
Let it all soak in, huh?
For how long?
I guess however long you want to let it soak.
For some reason, it might not even need 1 second.
Does that mean
what's the pleasure of that?
I don't know. How would you put yourself in a girl and not move? Like how? That's like I'd be like, how could you just sit there? Like, okay,
the amount of self-control that they must have is unbelievable.
Dude, I'd lose my
like,
boner.
Now, who does this? Where do you have
a Mormon girl? I should get her on here and to ask her.
I would lose my boner, man. Wouldn't you lose your boner if you're not fucking jamming away at that?
Wait, what? Who does this?
Mormons.
They do?
Yeah, look it up. It's
all right. Where are the Mormons out there? We need some comments.
What is
put us in our place.
It's real big with the kids. Like it's like Brigham Young University. Like it's real big there. All the kids are doing.
But what is the purpose?
So is it the idea to?
They consider it. No. They consider it. It's not having sex because you're not. Screwing or whatever. You're just letting it soak.
He's right. He's right.
It's the craziest thing ever.
But soaking is a sexual practice of inserting the penis into the vagina, but not subsequently thrusting or ejaculating. Reportedly used by some members of the Christ's Latter-day Saints and Mormons. Yeah.
Yes, but is this intended to be like a method of birth control or
no? Like they consider it not having sex, John. Like it's not considered sex to them.
Why not just have oral sex? I don't
because the dude doesn't ejaculate or she doesn't.
No, they're not going back and forth. They're not actually like having sex. They just let it sit.
So neither one of them's getting off. They're just soaking.
Right. Well, I guess you could soak and just sitting there, and most guys could probably just bust with that thing in there. I don't know.
Why don't you call that like baking or something like you? Is you sticking your dick in there? It's like in an oven. It's just cooking.
That would be torture. You just sit there and you're just like, "Fuck, okay, hey, what do you guys talk about? Like, hey, what are you doing tomorrow?" I'm just sitting here sitting here soaking and just chilling. Like, hey, yeah, so what does your family do? Like, that's so weird. Like
now for all that they're semen retention because they think it's going to boost their testosterone. This is probably a good practice for you to start following.
Oh God, it's so fucking fucked up.
Let's merge the idiots.
Well, they're not allowed to have to masturbate either in the Mormon church.
Oh, I'm fucked.
Well, hold
you
on.
gotta have a lot of self-control to be able to do that.
Mormons have more than one wife, right?
Guys, self-control.
Yeah, they can.
Yeah,
I had some Mormon. I had a lot of few Mormon friends growing up and played on my soccer team. And I mean, it was like to the point where like, hey, we're going to see a movie tonight, and they're like, we can't go. I'm like, it's PG-13, or I'm like, you can't go to a PG-13 movie. They're like, no. I'm like, well, just don't tell your mom. They're like, no, I can't. I'm like, what's wrong with you? So yeah, they do some weird shit.
You know what the problem is? When you have too many rules, you create lunatics, and you create all this insanity, and they have to make up these rules they have to try to find ways around the rules. How about just getting rid of the rules to begin with, and then you don't have to worry about it,
That's one of the greatest downfalls of humanity, is that we need rules.
But you know what? Now we have the opposite. We have people going, everything's accepted.
Yes.
So you can
and this
be a transgender when you're 5 years old.
Picture you getting like AIDS from like just soaking. Like, I just soaked with this girl and I just got AIDS.
Wow!
Can you soak with it
nasty
in a
was
can?
that?
Damn, Armand, she's supposed to.
I got news for you.
Where'd you get herpes from her? Holy
I got
shit!
news for
You gotta.
I'm sure if you soak long enough, you can finish.
Yeah, I think we could. But
But what if, can you stick it in her ass and soak it like in there?
This is great. Here.
So let me ask you this: does that kind of, because they don't consider it sex, is it like shaking hands? I mean, can you just walk up to some girl and say, "Hey, you want to soak?"
Right? It's like so. I feel like if you get married, I was like, okay, I'm a virgin. So what do you ask? Like, how many guys have you soaked with?
Well, I mean, she's technically not a virgin anymore if there's been a penis.
She's
in
not.
there, so.
That's what literally makes no sense. It makes
They
zero
say that
sense.
doesn't count. No, it doesn't count, John.
So I'm just wondering, like, Mormons walk down the street, a guy sees it, go, "Hey, you want to soak?" Because it's not sex.
I guess if she gets real wet,
they just go like in a phone.
No, John, you're on a date and things are getting hot and heavy. You're kissing. You can't have sex, or you can't. There's no masturbation allowed. You're like, let's just soak, I guess.
I'm sure you could like flex your dick and like make them and like come or make them come.
Jimmy would be great with that towel trick.
Wait,
John, that he does.
let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
If you stick it in there, right, and you're soaking, what they call soaking, and you accidentally pump a few times, is that considered the big R word?
You violated the rules. Yeah, exactly.
You violated by entering? Like, that's like somebody letting
you got to pull out. You got to pull out if you're about to.
What if you just like you're on she's on top of you and just start spinning her around? That's going in a circle. That's not going in and out. So does that count?
The tie basket with
the basket with the hole in it. Absolutely. You wind it up, and then the girl spits in there.
No fucking action. It's
and
only
as the rope unwinds, it goes down, and the girl's plucking the string.
That's a legitimate question. Is it a disqualification or not?
I want to know.
I don't know, but
we need to get a
shit ton of money in the Mormon community selling those fucking baskets. So,
I realized something, John. Though I came to this conclusion. I have so many little rituals that I do, just between taking vitamins and working out and before I go to bed, I got to wash my face. And if you think about it, as you get older, you get more and more rituals that you do Can you imagine if we had to have all these sexual rituals on top of that? Like you can only have sex on Thursday night, and you can't move. You can only soak it in there, and it can only stay in there. I mean. The rich, I would be in the loony bin. I would be committed if I had.
I wouldn't date a girl like that. Why would you date some chick? Look, you can fuck me, but we really can't fuck. You can stick it in, just don't.
Greg? I'll give you an instance. You're 18 years old and you're dating the hottest girl that you ever met. I mean, it's like the dream girl. You look at her, you can almost like have an orgasm. And she's Mormon, and she's like, I can only soak. I mean, you're going to do whatever she tells you to do, right?
But at 18, with that kind of girl, it's probably all that's all he needs, because he's going to blow his load before it gets all the way in.
I don't know. I would be on top of her, telling her, "Listen, I'm going to marry you. I love you. All that shit. I need this fucking."
He'd probably convert to Mormonism. This guy, yeah.
I would love to be like a fly on the wall during one of these soaking events, like just like watch them like. What they talk about.
I wonder if you can find soaking on Pornhub.
What if you start praying while you're doing it? Listen, let me just move it a little bit. Hail Mary, you start making, you start saying some prayers while you pound it.
Jimmy's got a story, John. That was probably he had to soak some girl, probably.
Well, actually,
this Mormon chick.
you skimmed over it a minute ago, but that towel exercise he used to do would come very handy in soaking situation.
Explain the towel exercise.
The thing is, though, could you imagine soaking parties? You know, it's like swingers. Like,
I'm
done soaking in her. Let's go switch over there.
It's like the Diddy freakouts.
Yeah, but they're always soaking.
You could soak
the soak out party.
Is it true that Blackman went to one of the freak out parties?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Baby oil with the ketamine.
But dude, listen, if you're laying there and your piece of got stuck in her fucking little clam box down there and she starts making out with you, how are you not gonna, dude, my tongue's connected to my dick. You start fucking making out with me and I got a pound away. I would tell her,
Greg, let's just put it this way. You'd never be a good Mormon. So
never.
No.
I would tell her, God told me I must do this. I would tell her, listen, God told me I must do this.
You know, when you in the Mormon church, when you do something like if you masturbate or you do something that you shouldn't do, you have to go to like the guy who the cardinal, whoever whatever the.
Are you kidding me?
Tell him what you did. Can you imagine him going in there and saying, I was with this tranny and I banged her in the ass, and you know.
He was doing anal soaking.
Wait, you know what the priest would tell me? Wait, you were with a tranny? What's her name? I think I was with her too.
Did a real big sluts do like DP soaks?
Oh God!
The priest would be like, "Yo, I had her when
I don't think there's no booty. I don't know.
Two dudes soaking in one girl.
Armand, I just want to say thank you because I would have never in my life, I would have gone my whole life and did not.
I don't even know how I remember this. Like I don't know because I don't know.
You were probably with some chick who asked you to do that. That's why you always have these first experiences.
Wait!
I don't think I've ever been with any Mormon girls, but this is something like when they're young, like at college, like at BYU. I know some reason I heard like I don't know where I heard it. Yeah, some comedian maybe or something. I'm not sure. And then
I gotta ask you though, what if you're gay? Do you soak in another guy's ass or no?
Probably not.
You have to soak in his ass. I mean, are they allowed? Like, if
they asked the same thing, Frank.
Well, you'd have to have a double cock, I think, right?
Exactly what.
We'll all research this more and then come back next week with the.
It's probably easy. It's probably easier if you do a double, John, because then it's hard to move when you're. It's hard to move, I would imagine. You know,
nobody's moving. Unless one of them's Jimmy.
I mean, you can still get pregnant.
My boy.
Right. Again, we notice how the conversations, Dave. We go into a vortex. We go deeper into the abyss.
After hours weed. You know.
What about
all we wanted to do is get people to vote, and somehow we wound up on this conversation.
I know. Well, because it's like the hotel rooms in Vegas. They drive you into the casinos because they're decorated so bad. At least in the old days, we're driving people to vote. Stop listening.
It's funny though with the whole voting thing. Getting back to voting, it's very funny. I'll tell you what's funny about the voting is that I went looking for like where to vote, and they say, in Lee County, make sure you have to bring an ID, and they give a list of all these IDs you got to bring. Meanwhile, in California, you're not even allowed to ask the person for an ID. Did you see that?
Yeah, it's
Newsom just passed a crazy law.
It's a law. Yeah, exactly, a law.
Now, some guy just posted, Dave, where he went in California to prove this shit. And they asked him, what's your name? And he said, Joe Materazzi. And then they're like, what's your birthday? And he goes, and he made up a date, right? And they go, you sure that's your birthday? He goes, maybe not. Maybe it's this. And he said, and he videotaped the whole fucking thing. And they're going through papers. And they're like, we don't see no Joe Materazzi. He goes, oh, you know what? Maybe it's because I used another name too. And he used another name. And eventually they actually let him vote.
Wow.
He was trying to prove to them.
Scary.
It's scary. Look, RFK Jr. had the best idea when he was running for president. He said everyone should have an ID card.
Right.
And the reason why some people don't have ID cards is because they can't afford it. He goes, if you can't afford an ID card, you go to the post office, we give it to you for free. The government will pay. What does it cost? $20? We give it to you for free.
Here's the question. Here's the question.
Yeah.
How do you live the rest of your life apart from voting? How do you live in this society without an ID?
Wait a minute.
You can't do anything.
What he's saying is there should be a government-issued ID card to every single human being.
That's not the
fake
point.
IDs, John. Fake IDs are so easy to get.
No,
how do you exist? How do you exist?
A lot of people here.
Society.
One at a time.
They don't have ID.
One at a time. For everything, you can't go anywhere, buy anything, do anything, nothing
except
without
vote.
an ID.
Except vote. You don't need one.
My question is, who in this world does not have an ID? How do they exist?
All the illegal immigrants.
No ID. Who are these people?
My friend got hit the other day.
There's a lot of people in California. The illegals that come here, they don't have an ID. They come to my gym to sign up. They don't have an ID. They have a Mexican ID or something like this. Sometimes they have nothing.
Yeah, but wait, wait, Dave, I got to tell you something. Listen to me. This is a fact. My girlfriend's mother's been here like 38 years. She keeps getting deported and back and deported and back. This is a true story. A couple of weeks ago, she had work there. All these people, they come to work. They come and they get her, and now all of a sudden she texts my girlfriend, look at, and she's holding up a paper like this. I'm a citizen, right? What? In one day, what happened was they went to a lot of the Mexicans in that community and they said, do you want to become a citizen? And they made him a citizen right there. Never had to go to court, no classes, no fucking paperwork. They made him swear their hands and they made him a citizen. That was in Jersey, okay? It was a couple weeks ago. And what they're doing is they're, because she even said to my girlfriend, I'm voting, I'm going to vote for Harris. So they're making them citizens. They gave her citizenship. They gave it to her. Now, normally, Arnold Schwarzenegger and all them had to go to classes and take, you usually have to go to a class. You got to know
English.
Yeah, but wait a minute. If you went to her and you said, how many states is there in America? Connecticut, Jersey, New York. They would have no idea. 5? If you said
most Americans don't know, Greg.
Who was the first president of the United States?
Most Americans don't know that either.
George Bush. You know what I mean? They have no idea. But that's what you're supposed to do. Remember in the old days, you had to take a course, then you take a test, and you had to have basic.
It's not the old days. It's still today. It's the way you got to do it.
I'm telling you,
the test is will you vote Democrat? Yes. You're in.
Listen, they made her a citizen and others just like her. They made him a citizen just so they can vote.
That's why they're shipping a lot of these people to different states, too.
And I guarantee you, if they wore a MAGA hat, they would not be getting that.
Absolutely. You're right. You're 100%.
You've got so many people, too, that go around and interview people. They're like, who are you voting for? And they're like, Kamala. And they're like, okay, why are you voting for Kamala? And they're like, well, she's great. They're like, well, tell me what policies. And these people don't know any policies at all. Like, they're just like, well, she's awesome. They're like, Trump's just bad. I mean, that's their answer every time. No one actually, these interviews, people go around the interviews like just random people everywhere. If they're voting for Kamala, they're like, why are you voting for her? What policies? They have no answer. None of them have a straight up answer.
She's for family. Meanwhile, she's telling husbands to lie to their wives to lie to their. Don't tell your husband that you want to vote for me. But
she's about unity, but she's calling everyone trash and Hitler's and all this.
Still talking about the January 6th.
The truth is, go out and vote wherever you want to. Personally, I wouldn't hire her to clean my house, but you know what? That's my opinion. I think it's important though that people do vote because I think that it does make a difference.
Yeah, you gotta vote.
This is my first year I'm voting. So
while we're on this topic, Arnold, screw yourself. Thank you.
Yeah.
I want to say that.
Well, Arnold can vote for whoever he wants. That's up to him,
Yeah, but you know what? Let me tell you something about that. There is no fucking way Arnold is going to close himself in a voting booth and vote for Kamala Harris. Not going to happen.
But he's convincing other people.
And nobody he said that believes it except the dumb fucks that were going to vote for her anyway. So everybody knows Arnold is a businessman. He's a capitalist. There is no fucking way on earth that he would vote for Kamala Harris and her policies.
But that's why he's doing it, John. John, listen to me.
He just doesn't like Trump. They don't like each other from The Apprentice.
Because Trump kicked him. Whatever he couldn't deal with being on The Apprentice. He couldn't follow Trump's footsteps.
Big money is behind her,
and that's where the animosity comes.
Yeah, I mean, you guys see
it's all about the dislike
The Apprentice.
Big money's always going Democrat. He never was a Republican. He only saw a way to get in there. He saw it was a Republican seat, and he took it. He said he's.
I don't believe that. I don't believe
Well,
that.
no, you're an Arnold fan. So if Arnold said to you, "I want people beheaded for,"
I'm a fan of Arnold and Bonzo. I'm not a fan
of irrespective of that, he is a businessman. His businesses depend on policies like Trump. There is no fucking way he's going to saw off his leg.
But that makes him worse. Then he's lying to the public.
Of course he is. Of course he is. That's why he's
that's an ego thing, Greg. That's an ego thing.
Everybody hates him now. He's a fucking ego thing.
That's a rat, though. I'm sorry.
Yep.
That's a rat.
I agree with Greg.
I agree with him. I agree with him.
Greg, if you absolutely hated one person that was running for president, you probably wouldn't endorse them, even if you endorse the policies of the party.
Dave, he does this all the time, though. Screw your freedoms.
It was more than an endorsement. He said he's voting for her.
Screw your freedom.
That is an absolute fucking lie.
He should have said nothing. He should have said nothing.
I believe he would vote for her, but regardless,
I would have respected him if he didn't say anything. But this is a con job.
Screw your freedom.
He should have said nothing.
There's something.
On the record, I think Arnold's one of the greatest bodybuilders ever. And I really
lives up to the fact that everybody thinks he's a fucking dick.
There's something with Hollywood where all the Hollywood people are like in alliance.
Yep.
That's what I was about to say.
Democrats and
all the people that went to Diddy's parties, they're on alliance too.
They're all in alliance with it. And
Trump released the Diddy list. That's why.
If they go outside of against their party, they get blackballed.
Yep, that's
correct. Yeah, of course they do. Yeah.
But
Trump released the Diddy list before the Epstein list. That's the problem.
Isn't that soy man shit? You're afraid. You hear Andrew Tate and people like that, or even Joe Rogan. You can't fucking. I don't care. That makes Arnold a soy man. If you're gonna fucking, I can't. I don't want to get blackballed. You know what I'm saying? Like fuck.
Greg,
I mean, but like Larry was saying, like they won't have roles anymore. They won't get these actors. They won't have roles anymore. They won't get work anymore.
At that one guy, the career's done. Guy.
John Cena.
Yeah.
Look at Mel Gibson.
Did
look what they did to him.
Well, I mean, you just saw they John Cena. They had to humiliate him on that night show where he had to go out there naked and hold his. That was so embarrassing to do that.
I think that was his idea. He's a weirdo, bro. He's a fucking weirdo. He gave $100,000 to Black Lives Matter or $1 million. I forgot.
Yeah, Batista's the same way. John Cena, The Rock.
Dave is trying to get a role in the movie as the doctor.
You're not a fucking
Marvel doctor characters.
Fucking stay in your lane. I hate when guys say, I'm going to be like, what are you going to be, Shakespearean actor now? Because, you've been in a few movies. You play a certain role.
I don't know. Anyone who would listen to an actor to tell them who to vote for is obviously pretty stupid. They're not politicians, these guys.
No, you're right, man.
They're so passionate about it. They're so passionate about it.
Watch some of the news programs and listen to policy. You shouldn't be voting for someone based on what movie you like that they're in. You should be voting for someone based on who's going to make the policies that are going to impact your life the most. And I think the fact that eggs are $10 a dozen and gas is through the roof, I think that's and the fact that no one can buy a house anymore is probably the most important issue in the election. And I got news for you. There's only one person in this election who cares about that and is going to change that. And
Trump.
Yeah,
but Dave,
exactly.
Dave, let me ask you a question, though. Remember the eggs, the bullshit with the eggs. When it started back when Biden took over, and he started that whole bird flu shit. There's no more bird flu, and that was all bullshit, too.
Yeah.
Why are eggs? Why the fuck did eggs? They showed it. I watched a video a couple weeks ago where they were showing a grocery store. And this was filmed in 2019, and it had nothing to do with the food. It was on a different subject. And they panned by, and the guy was walking by like the dairy section, and I saw eggs, 77 cents in Walmart. And I used to get like jumbo eggs for 82 cents. 82 cents jumbo eggs. This is just when Trump was president. How the fuck are they now? The jumbo eggs are $6 over here.
Well, Greg, it's not just eggs, it's groceries like shit.
Everything.
Groceries are double the price. It's just
most
Americans
can't put together $1,000 if they had to fix their car or something went wrong in their house.
Let me say this. All that aside, obviously the economy, like Bill Clinton said it best, it's the economy, stupid. I mean, that is obviously the biggest thing. But what the problem with everybody is is that the mainstream media has so grossly misinformed everybody that they believe all of this
Lee
fucking
Priest,
bullshit.
right.
We are closer to World War III now than we have ever been.
We're already in it.
Now, can you imagine Kamala in a room with Putin cackling like a fucking banshee, or with Xi Jinping?
John.
We are in. China is already militarizing for 2027 to be able to go to war. We have North Korean troops in training in Russia. This is going on right now.
Yeah,
okay,
but John,
so
this is not Kamala.
Yeah, eggs are $10 a dozen. That's fucking bad. Gas, all of that shit. If she gets in, we are going to be in World War III.
100%.
Exactly where we are headed right now. The trajectory is going that way. If she gets in, we are done.
Did you see her yesterday? She was in Michigan. Gaza, Gaza, Gaza. Like this, since she went to Pennsylvania.
Yeah, Israel.
The Jews.
Yep.
It's like, you rat fuck, you flip flop. I don't care. Look, both
her accent changes.
But
yep.
She makes some fake accents too.
That's so cringe.
Y'all need to get it.
How about she's not black? Let's just be honest. She's not black. Anybody who watches Candace Owens will know that she's not black.
No, she's not.
Yeah.
She's not
Candace is
I don't care if you are or not, but
I'd vote for Candace Owens for president.
Fuck
for sure.
Yeah, I would too.
She's great.
Brilliant, that girl.
This is not Kamala. This is Obama.
Would you soak with the Candace Owens?
Yes, I would. I'd rather have there's others I'd rather have than her, to be honest with you. But I would eat her ass.
We weren't giving you options. She was the only choice.
Yeah, we just said soak. Only soak.
Yes, I
has to go to the ass
Amala
every time.
Yeah, that's my bitch. I love her.
He always has to go right for the ass.
We're talking about something. Oh, the asshole,
guys.
Dude, I love it.
It's going to be interesting because we're going to find out from Larry how the Californians are either melting down or what's going on because it's loony.
Yeah, Larry, you might as well not even vote. It doesn't even matter for you.
I'm still voting.
Popular vote, it does.
I think a lot of people think that, like, what's the point of my vote? And then a lot of people think that
surprised
that
in
adds
California,
up.
aside from the big cities,
right?
They're not all Democrat.
Pretty red. Yeah,
it's just the big cities, but
Larry, same thing with New York.
Most of California is not.
Yeah.
Same thing with New York.
A lot of the conservative parts.
They always expect some kind of October surprise. That's always a big thing. You'll hear about.
We got one. We got one.
Wouldn't it be amazing if all these illegals actually ended up voting for Trump?
Yeah.
They're not
they actually realize that hey, these people are scammers.
I have a question.
Like what Larry said. What Larry said, like besides like LA and like that, like I have clients like in other places in California, and they're Republican.
But wait, I'm going to say something. What Amin just said, what he doesn't realize, you know what? A lot of them don't vote. You don't understand. They don't show up for court. They don't vote. Trust me. They think it's a scam. I go down to vote. They're going to take me out of here. So a lot of them don't vote. They're letting all these people in. That's why they made, my girlfriend's mother and all those people citizens. They made them citizens.
They put the fear in them by saying, if you don't vote for us, this guy's going to deport you. And so then they switch right there to Democrats, and they get their vote when they make them a citizen.
They don't, but they hide.
Let me ask you a question. I got a better question. It's more interesting. How come all the Republican women are all hot, and all the Democratic women are all horrendous?
Because the Democrat women are really men wearing wigs. They're actually trans. They're not real men.
Real
men aren't Democrats. Real men are Republicans.
I love Megyn Kelly. I think she's great.
You and me both, bro. Now I'd soak in her, bro. I would soak in her after you soaked in her. I would soak up your jizz in there.
Oh God, stop!
I love her.
too much, too far.
Hey guys, one thing
leave it to Greg.
It's important that everybody votes. It's really important. But for one thing, they're going to try to pull the 14th Amendment, and they're going to try to say that if Trump wins, they're still going to try to bar him. They've been saying it. They've been talking about it. There's not going to be a peaceful transfer. He has to win by a landslide, or they're going to continue this charade.
Too big to rig.
It has to be too big to rig.
Anybody who thinks we're getting the results tomorrow is out of their fucking mind. The circus is about to start. This is going to drag on. I'm making the prediction right here. This is going to drag on for weeks. This is not going to be over tonight.
Not only that.
Hey, wait a minute.
They're already saying that if he wins and they don't feel it's a fair election, they're not going to do a transfer.
Hey, that picture of him and Megyn Kelly's amazing. You know why? Megyn Kelly's the same woman
to fight against it
that attacked him. Megyn Kelly attacked him. If you remember 2016, Megyn
Kelly Rosie O'Donnell
you call women fat pigs, and he said only Rosie O'Donnell. Remember, she was against him. Now she's a fucking freedom fighter for him.
Right.
He was at his rally.
Well, he's got RFK Jr. He's got Tulsi Gabbard. I mean, all the smart people are obviously.
And Kamala's got Diddy's list.
Kamala's got Tampon Tim.
That's who Kamala's got. Tampon Tim and the Diddy list.
I'm not gonna play it, but Amin sent me this video.
Play it. Please.
Your kid? Oh no, play it.
Please play it.
No, you gotta play it for you guys. Please play it. It's fucking awesome.
Play it.
It's awesome. You gotta play it.
I gotta send it to myself first.
Dave, I gotta say something. I would soak in Kamala.
Greg, you would soak in an old Ford with a leaky head gasket. Saying who you would soak in is fucking irrelevant.
Her husband said that when Kamala gets serious, she puts her head down and gets to work.
I'll bet you.
I'll tell you what you guys better get ready for is the violence that's going to come.
Did you see them boarding up the buildings now in New York?
They're
boarding up all the in Washington, actually. They're putting plywood over the windows.
They're boarding it up in case he wins, and it's not going to be Republicans, it's Democrats that do that.
Right. People are putting up signs in their store windows. We voted for Harris and they won't burn their business.
In retrospect, guys, I actually lost all faith in voting last time, and I really believe that the entire thing was fixed. However, at this moment right now, seeing that they're doing all this stuff, seeing that they're kind of like preparing that if he wins, it makes me actually believe that it's not fixed, because if it was fixed, they would know that they're going to win and they wouldn't do all this stuff.
I think.
Now we're wise to that.
Hubris that they're expressing now makes it clear to me that they know they're winning.
That's right. And it actually could be somewhat of a real.
I want to know. We got to get Roger Stone back on the show. I want to ask him. And you ask him. Everybody says the 2020 election was not rigged. Anybody who says it rigged is lying. There is no evidence. And I want to know, what do you want for evidence? What define evidence?
I know, right?
Your smoking gun is, because that election, from Zuckerbucks to the fucking laptop to the ballot harvesting, the burning of ballots. All of that shit was election interference, rigging the election. So how is it fucking possible that you people out there say there's no evidence that the election?
Well, you know what I want to know is, how do they take there's many videos of people walking around with MAGA hats, and they're going on this, online to vote. They're coming over to them online. You got to take that off. I watched a whole line of people with Harris shirts on. And nobody stopped them from walking in with the Harris shirts, but you can't wear a MAGA hat. It's crazy. And you never see videos of somebody running up on somebody's lawn, ripping up a Harris thing, but you see a lot of people running up on a lawn, kicking a friggin' Trump sign.
Because their whole campaign is Trump is bad. So when it's a hate-driven campaign, guys.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, they're gonna go in high gear to fucking.
The election should be one day. It should be one day. You should have to show an ID card, like RFK said, and that's it. They do it in all the other countries.
In Florida, you show up, you show your ID, boom, you vote, and they have the results in half an hour after it closes.
Right.
Why can't? Now you got Pennsylvania. The guy just put a message up.
I don't think they can do it in one day. There's just
we already knew that Pennsylvania was a problem.
Josh Shapiro broke that.
It's historically been a problem. Now, guess what? The voting machines don't get delivered. They don't work.
Right.
They're trying. Right. Like, we didn't know this. How can people that fucking stupid be in charge of something this important?
Well, the Pennsylvania governor, Josh Shapiro, just said he wants to have Elon Musk arrested. He's saying Elon Musk is tampering with the presidential election and everything.
He won that, by the way. He won that court case. It was not illegal to do what he did.
Yep.
No, I know, but they're looking to arrest. They want him deported. Imagine
they want to stop him because of free speech, because he allows a platform for people to really see.
No, it wasn't
truth,
that. It was
more people want Trump than Kamala.
It's the $1 million thing that he did when you signed up.
I remember in 1970s, my parents would take me to when they would go vote. You went into the high school, into the thing. There was a machine. They pulled the curtain, and they would flip the little levers, like who you wanted to vote for, and then when you got out, they lifted the curtain, the machine cleared, and your vote was counted. How come they should be using the machines from the 70s? It was more accurate.
There was a paper ticket in there, Dave. Remember, it was a
and it punched it.
And it punched it. Right. It punched out the holes. And when you so you flipped all the levers, and then you were all set. Then you pulled the lever down.
Yeah, there was no chance of it messing up because you got to see it out.
Right.
You got to check it. If it wasn't,
and we all got the entire country got the same result. The results that night.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, I don't know why we can't do that still.
Mustafa Kamali TV gave us $5.
Thank you. I think it's bullshit.
Greg will be able to soak with his with that money.
Greg could do like 2.5.
I want to go to Qatar with that money.
Holy shit! Johnny wants to go to Qatar. We can't get him to fly to like Florida. This guy, he wants to go to Qatar.
No, I'm not flying.
He'll take a cruise, but he'll fly over the ocean.
I ain't flying no ocean.
No, in places like Qatar, where
on the plane the whole time, I said that would have been Greg if he was here.
No way, I can't be on a plane no 30 hours.
We would give you GHB and knock you out the whole time. Yeah,
they wake up and his asshole would be sore.
Wouldn't be the first time, John. That's when I was hanging out with Lee. I woke up and my asshole was sore, and I saw Lee was sleeping.
I think that's a good. This is a good ending. Good for the show.
Were you able to get that? Dave, were you able to pull that up?
You know what? I disappeared. I don't know. Where did you send that to me?
Here, I'll send it to you.
I'll send it to you.
You gotta play it. Come on, it's election day.
Come on, Dave. Play the goddamn.
It disappeared. It's not in my text
I'm
message.
gonna send it to you.
Know that trick.
Here, I just sent it to you.
Oh, you send
it to my email. Email it to me.
Hold on.
I can't play it from my text message on I need it in an email.
Can you?
We know that trick, Dave.
John, can you email it to him?
Yeah, I'm gonna do it right now.
All right. Very funny.
What's the age limit with those arranged marriages over there? Don't they get like really young?
Are you
kids?
considering?
You gotta have money. You gotta have some serious money if you want to get married.
I'd be fucked.
Like 15.
I'd be fucked. Could I lie?
You gotta be balling.
No. You look. You know what the truth is, Greg. You're such a creature of habit. You would love an arranged marriage. You'd love it. You'd love it.
I don't want to. I got enough what I got here now. The last thing I could do is deal with some other nut job.
Yeah.
Soaking only.
Imagine having 5 wives, Greg, that would be serving you, waiting on you, hand and foot.
Dave, let me tell you something. The arranged marriage, that girl would come over to this house with her fucking family. They'd see my car. Before they even got in the house, they'd see the car and they'd be like, look at that car. You know what I mean? They'd be like, get the fuck, you're not marrying nobody. That's what the guy would tell his daughter. You ain't marrying this guy. Look at his car.
Your kid looks just like you, I mean.
Yeah, he does.
He like spitting image.
Dude,
did you email it to me, John?
Yeah, I just emailed it to you.
Listen, I'm
so ugly. He got a regular size nose. He got a normal nose, not mine.
Listen, I'm so ugly that if I went out there, they'd make me wear a burqa. Shit. What are you gonna
Maybe
do?
Rami could hook you up with someone out there.
Oh God, one of his wives.
Did you hear they were firebombing those ballot boxes?
Are they really? Yeah.
And then they found in the ballot boxes where they firebombed, there was pamphlets like something about free Palestine and all this kind of stuff.
Wow. In Oregon and Washington.
I think it was like Pennsylvania or something.
Well, I don't understand why people can't just go to a voting booth and vote. What's with this early voting? I don't understand it. It doesn't make sense to me.
This is only since that 2020 shit started. You know what I mean? Even when
it doesn't make sense to me.
When Trump won in 2016, you knew that night that he won and everything was done. Now they're going to play games. Obviously, you know, the Democrats have already said if Trump wins, he's not going to take. You got Nancy Pelosi, who's 82 years old, saying Donald Trump's he's got Alzheimer's. He's nuts. He's got a dementia. He shouldn't even be in there. We're gonna enact the 25th Amendment.
But you know what it is, Greg. You know what it is, Greg. this is like the first real election. Well, not really, but probably. But social media is so important to this. There's so much rhetoric being put on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook, and everyone's like trying to like influence people's decisions by videos. They're doing all these editing jobs, putting together all the flubs that
she said it. She said that shit. She said it wasn't editing. She said it.
No. What I'm saying is, this is the first election that
I gotta pee.
Used to be you watch the news, you watch the the debates on TV. Right. It's not like that anymore. It doesn't even matter. No one watches TV.
And that's why X is playing such a big, Elon Musk is playing such a big role in this, because if you really watch these polls and they're fixed by, Democrat leaning sides, and then you see X and X is showing, how Trump is so far ahead, you kind of wonder what's really true. Are the pollsters true? Like that poll in Ohio. I mean, what was the purpose of that? She's not +3 in Ohio, but they do these type of things to get the people to say, oh, there's no chance she can win, and kind of create a tidal wave. Like if she wins in Ohio, then she'll win everywhere else. And it's a lot of this propaganda. And it's a lot of
I think they want people to stay home and not vote. That's why.
Right. Absolutely.
So they figure if people will think, oh, there's no chance, then they won't go out and vote.
Right. If Trump is losing that bad, then what's the point? That's why you have to get out there and vote.
What does this say? What does this say about America, really? I mean, we are supposed to be the shining example of democracy and freedom for the world to follow. And here we are immersed in the biggest fucking circus you've ever seen with respect to our elections, which should be the most sacred act we do as a nation.
Yeah.
And here we are tolerating an entire party whose whole existence hinges on fucking up the system.
But wait a minute, didn't Brazil follow? Didn't Brazil follow the same thing?
Here we go. Hold on.
Hey, listen, this is great.
You got to turn it up.
Vote for Trump. Trump, you nothing wrong. Him and Alex are winning this
Your son is so cute.
That's your son, I mean?
That kid is cool.
Yeah, that was very, very, very.
Is that your son?
Who painted his head like that?
God bless.
What a great demeanor.
Who painted his head to me like that?
Yeah.
I shaved his head and painted his head. His mom and I painted it. I shaved his head, and his mom and I painted it together.
That's great. I love it. That's
great.
Did he go like that for Halloween?
No, this is last night. We did that last night, and we went to the grocery stores around here, and we figured out who's for Trump and who's not. And believe me, a lot more people are for Trump than we thought. They were like, "We love your hair. We love your hair."
Wait, is that the video Dave was afraid to play? David?
Yep.
David?
What? David.
No,
we got to give equal time, right? Now we have to have someone play.
We've given Kamala nothing but time. She is welcome to come here and get on her knees in front of Greg anytime she wants, and we'll support her. I mean,
John, did you see what happened with Saturday Night Live? They let her on there for a skit. They had to give Trump equal time.
Yeah, so he took the football game, Monday Night Football.
But no, if NBC let Kamala on Saturday Night Live, so they have to give equal time to Trump, and they didn't give him that. So
they gave it to him the next day. Yes. They asked him, "What do you want?" He said, "Give me the time slot for Monday Night Football," which is right up his alley.
He was smart. He was smart.
For those of you who saw it, the girl, she goes, she starts laughing like Kamala, and then Kamala goes, "Do I really laugh like that?" And she goes.
She's never seen it.
Maya, what's her name? Rudolph or something like that. She's very good. There's a couple of people on Instagram that do the cackle like she does too.
Oh yeah, the whole voice.
Yeah, the whole voice.
You heard what happened with Rogan, right?
It looked like her.
Yes. You mean the Google searches?
Trump was on Rogan for a long interview, and then Kamala wanted to be on Rogan. They told Rogan that he had to go to the White House and do it there, and they were going to give him
California.
1 hour, and it's by their rules, and they're going to like tell him like what he can ask and not. And he said, "No, I'm not doing it. You come here."
Because he knew that she made an impossible.
Greg, not only that, but the interview that he did with Trump and the one he did with Vance, both were over 3 hours, both of them.
Yes,
she can't do that yet.
Google is being examined now because when you do a Google search, it won't return the interview.
Yeah.
Wow.
Let's not forget her Club Shay show.
And wait, let's not forget that Google is the #1 contributor to the Democratic Party.
Right. And let's not forget her Club Shay Shay interview had double the amount of dislikes than he had likes. Double.
Yep. Let me tell you something, though. That's why big tech, big pharma, big food, the biggest, richest people on the planet are all Democrats. Wall Street wants her because she's for the rich. She's not for the. That's all she says. He who dealt it, he who smelt it, dealt it. You know, he who denied it, supplied it. When somebody remember when a kid would throw a fart and he'd blame everybody else for it? That's what they're doing. She's the one who's a Marxist.
They're the worst. They're like farting in the elevator. They were even worse than they're horrible.
It's all bullshit. Everything she's accusing Trump of is what you listen. Wait a minute though. Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, who was in his cabinet, okay, is an Orthodox Jew. Ivanka Trump is an Orthodox Jew.
She converted.
She keeps her sons wear yarmulkes and they go on Air Force One. So Donald Trump's the first Nazi Jew lover that you've had. It's bullshit. It's all bullshit. Did you ever see the black chick that Donald Trump used to date? Google her. And she came out with an interview and said he is not racist, not even by any means. He funded Jesse Jackson's campaign in like 1989 or whatever it was when he was running for president. Remember that shit?
With Martin Luther King's kids. Really
Martin
good.
Luther King's niece just endorsed him. She just endorsed him. It's all bullshit.
Listen, what we need to do, guys, is we need to make America healthy again. This is RX Muscle. All of us are about health. We're all about positivity and bodybuilding. Listen, RFK Jr., we need to give this guy an opportunity to take out these chemicals that are in the food, these food companies, the FDA. It needs overdrive. We need to have America healthy. We need to stop poisoning the kids. This is insane. It's insane that you put Red 40 in your food and then have your kid tell your kids that they have ADHD and it's because they need Ritalin or Adderall instead of getting them off the food coloring. This is ludicrous. We have to stop this. We got to make America.
I love that RFK is working with Trump because that was the dream. That was a dream combination. First thing he's going to do is get rid of advertising on TV for drug companies, and I think that's you got to applaud him for that. That's right out the door.
Let's talk about that for a second because that's going to cause a huge problem.
Yeah, these news agencies go out of business.
Exactly. They rely on that. The whole reason why news agencies allow the drug commercial. Think about the commercial. Ask your doctor about Zoloft.
Yeah.
What are you going to fucking ask them?
All
they're doing is taking up time. They're paying for it. So they're funding those things so that the reporters who work for those news agencies will not investigate the companies for poisoning us. So it's an insurance policy. It also takes up space so that other legitimate advertisers don't have any place to advertise. So that's a big problem because the drug companies advertising on network news do two things. They're geared to misinform you because the legacy media totally misinforms its listeners. And it pays them to not investigate companies that are poisoning us. So that shit's got to stop immediately.
As bodybuilders, we love chemicals, just not in our food.
Greg, do you know that those chemicals that Amin just talked about are banned in every other country except
John, I ate so much food that in Qatar this past weekend that I can't eat here. I ate cheeses and other stuff. Nothing bothered my stomach. I didn't have even a gas. Nothing. Nothing bothered my stomach.
Same exact. When I went,
food is clean there.
I don't believe you didn't have gas.
Same happened to me in Portugal.
Maybe a little gas. A lot of beans.
I'm kidding.
A lot of beans.
It is the single most important issue in our life is our food supply. 4 more years, and you think it's going to be Bill Gates, it's going to be genetically modified everything, 3D printed meat, We have to stop this madness. There's nothing bad with grass-fed red meat. The lies about high LDL cholesterol without triglycerides being high, without low-level HDL, this is crazy.
That's so true, though. What he just said is so true.
The lies to get you on pharmaceutical drugs that are statins are insane. It's okay if you eat McDonald's. They won't tell you to change.
RFK wants to get rid of the fluoride from the water. The fluoride in the water is poisoning people too. You know,
that's supposed to be really bad.
You got to look at this analogy.
Talk about processed food.
Is that
3D printed meat?
If this is what America does, you have a fish tank and the water's dirty, and the fish are dying. Okay, what the rest of the world does is clean the tank and makes the water clean. What we do is give the fish drugs. And then we give drugs to the fish that make them sicker so that they need more drugs. So that's exactly what we do. It's exactly what we do.
It's funny that John says that, because do you know, as Dave, you know this because you're a fish guy like me. I have tanks. And what do? They give you ampicillin and penicillin to actually put in the water. You actually get the same.
You got to do a water change. You got to do water changes.
Greg,
drain the swamp.
I'm voting for Greg Valentino for president. I'm writing him in. His policy will be that there will only be soaking. There'll be no more sex anymore. No one will get.
Don't worry about abortions.
And there'll be a first tranny.
You soak your girl
and spam in the can.
Fuck my
Go vote, everyone. We love you. We'll see you again next week. Dave Palumbo with another exciting episode here on After Hours with the Whack Pack.
Go vote.
Trump only, though.
Go vote.